everyone. Today we are going to talk about statistics and probability, starting with the statistics problem. So for our first problem, it's find the mode, median, arithmetic mean, range, and geometric mean of the following set of numbers. 2, oh, no more ink. All right, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6, and 10. So, blue doesn't go either. 2, 4, oh, nice ink. 4, 4, 5, 6, and 10. So first, let's try to find the mode. The mode will be the number that appears the most in the set, which in this case is 4. And then we're trying to find the median. The median is a number in the very middle if you line up the numbers in the set from the least to the greatest. So that would be in between here. If you're trying to find the median of an even set of numbers, so there's an even amount of numbers in the set, you find the mean of the two numbers in the middle. So that would be 4 plus 5 divided by 2, which is 9 over 2. So the median is 9 halves. And then we want to find the arithmetic mean. So if you recall from the last unit when we talked about arithmetic means in the context of arithmetic sequences, we can apply the same sort of logic here. But instead of dividing by 2 like we did here, the arithmetic mean will be finding the sum of all of the numbers in this set and dividing by the number of numbers in the set. So there are 6 numbers in this set, and the sum of all 6 of these numbers is 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 10. You can group this off, so this is 10. This is 11, and this is just 10. So we have 31, and we're dividing by the number of numbers in the set, which is 6. So we have 31 over 6 for the arithmetic mean. And the next one is range. Our range would be the difference between the greatest number in the set and the least number in the set. So it would be 10 minus 2, and that's equal to 8. And our geometric mean is a little bit more finicky. So if you remember geometric mean, we mentioned this before in our last unit about geometric sequences. But in this case, we are taking all of these numbers, multiplying them together, and then finding the root to the sixth root of the product. So we have 2 times 4 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 10. So we have 5 times 6 is equal to 30. 4 times 4 is equal to 16 times 2 is equal to 32. And we have 10 here. And then 32 times 30 is equal to 96. 960 times 10 is 9,600. Then we're taking this to the 6th root. And I'm going to leave this answer like this. Although I believe if I use my calculator, this simplifies to around 4.59. But we prefer if you kept it in this form. And don't round your answers, unless the question tells you to, of course. So that's how we solve the first problem with the statistics set. Oh, second problem. All right, this one's interesting. So 2 numbers, x and y, have a geometric mean of 12 and arithmetic mean of 12.5. Find x squared plus y squared. Well, first we have x and y, and their geometric mean is 12. That means that x times y squared is equal to 12. And their arithmetic mean is 12.5, which means that x plus y divided by 2 equals 12.5. Well, what we can deduce from these equations here is that, well, with the first equation, we know that if the square root of xy is equal to 12, then we know that xy is equal to 144. Because the only way that the square root of a number is equal to 12 is if the number is 144. and we square both sides. Anyways, with this problem, we can figure out that x plus y is equal to 25 because we multiply by 2 on both sides. And then what we're trying to find is x squared plus y squared. And then this does look very familiar. It looks like this. It looks, here, I'll just write it out. X plus y squared is equal to x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. So it's like, I think we went over this in a previous unit. This is pretty important to remember, especially if you're doing these finicky algebraic problems. Alright, so we have enough information to figure out what x squared plus y squared is. So x plus y squared, well, that's equal to 25 squared. And that's supposed to be equal to x squared plus 2 times xy, which is 2 times 144, plus y squared. And then 25 squared is, I believe it's 625. No, wait, it's a greater number than that. Sorry, that's 25 times 5. 25 times 25 is equal to, yeah, it is equal to 625. Question mark? Oh yeah, 5 times 25. Okay, 625. I was correct in the beginning. So 625 is equal to x squared plus 2 times 144, which is 288 plus y squared. Yeah. And so to figure out what x squared plus y squared is, we just need to subtract 288 from 625. And it's 288, something, some, 337. So x squared plus y squared is equal to 337. Yeah, I was just verifying my work. Right, so x squared plus y squared is equal to 337 in this problem. Problem 3. A student has an average score of 80 on her first 4 tests. What must she score on the next test to raise her average to 82? Okay, so we can think about this problem like this. If her average score is 80 on her first 4 tests, that means that x, so this just represents her first 4 tests. X is her first test, y is her second, x, y, z, and then I'll just add in an a. Divided by 4 is equal to 80. So the sum of her first 4 tests divided by 4, the sum of the scores on her first 4 tests divided by 4 is equal to 80. So that tells us that the sum of her first 4 tests is equal to 320. And it doesn't really matter what her scores actually were. We don't need to figure that out. We just need to know what the sum is, and that's 320. And so she wants to raise her average to 82. So on our next test, we'll call this test B. We'll have x plus y plus z plus a plus b divided by 5, because she's now taken 5 tests. She wants to raise her average to 82, so equals 82. So we know that the sum must be x plus y plus z plus a plus b is equal to, say so 410. Yeah, 410. So we know that this is, this is what we know now. The sum of our first 4 tests was 320. And after taking test B, she wants to have a sum of 410. Okay, well, we can substitute in this part here, 320. So 320 plus B is equal to 410. Then B is equal to 410 minus 320, which is equal to 90. So she has to score 90 on her next test to raise her average to 82. And you can actually think about it this way too. So it doesn't matter what the score for her first test was. You can just assume that they were all 80. So that's the easiest assumption. So if this was all 80, 1, 2, 3, like let's just say they're 80 high each. And then we have her next test, and we want to get this to 82, but we want to raise the average of all of these too. So you have to raise all of these by 2. And so on her next test, she has to score 82 plus score 8 points for the rest of those 4 tests that she did not achieve 82 on in order to boost them all up to get the average of 82. So it would be 82 plus 2 times 4, which is equal to 90, just like this answer here. So, most of this is intuition. Try to understand what arithmetic mean actually means, especially in the context of what would the sum be if the average of this group is this? What does this mean in terms of sums? Yep. All right, that was the third problem. Fourth problem. The arithmetic mean of 12 scores is 82. When the highest and lowest scores are removed, the new mean becomes 84. If the highest of the 12 scores is 98, what is the lowest score? Okay, so first of all, we have 12 scores. I'll just draw a line to represent them. We have 12 scores, and the arithmetic mean of those 12 scores is 82. But we know for sure that the highest score is 98. So imagine like there's a bunch of numbers here. We don't know what they are, but we know what the highest one is 98. And we know that they all add up to be 82 times 12. What is the lowest score? I'm trying to find the lowest score here. And we know that when the highest and lowest scores are removed, the new mean becomes 84. So, okay, perhaps this was not the best diagram, but we have, okay. Here, I'll try to redraw it. So there are 12 numbers here. I haven't represented all of them, but we know that there's a number, the least number, we'll call that x. We have the greatest number, we know that's 98. And so in total, there are 12 numbers. And those 12 numbers add up to 12 times 82. I'll try to write a better 82. But when you remove x and 98, we have 10 numbers left. And those 10 numbers add up to 10 times 84. So now we're trying to figure out what x is. Well, we can figure out what the sum of those 10 numbers are, first of all. The sum of those 10 numbers is 840. And when you add in 98 and x, you get this sum. So this is equal to 840. 82 times 12. Say 984. Okay, so basically what this means is that, okay, if you have 2 blocks like this, I'll draw like this here. So this is the least number, this is the greatest number, and these are just the numbers in between. The numbers in between add up to 840 because we know their average is 84, and there's 10 numbers, so they must add up to 840. And we know what the greatest number is. We know the greatest number is 98, but we know this whole thing should add up to 984, in order for the average of all these numbers to be 82. So now we just need to figure out what x is. And when we can do that by subtracting 840 and 98 from 984. So let's add these two numbers up first. So 840 plus 98 is equal to 938, sorry. 938. Right. And so 984 minus 938, 14,704,6. So the least number in this entire set is 46, assuming I did all of my math correctly. Alright, so that's the fourth problem. Fifth problem, what is the average of 7 numbers if the average of the first 2 is 9 and the average of the last 5 is 16? Well, right, so we have 7 numbers here. So this whole bar represents the sum of those 7 numbers. And we know that the average of the first 2 is 9. So here are the 2 numbers, and their average is 9, which means that their sum is 9 times 2, or 18. And then we know that the average of the last 5 is 16. So these are the next 5 numbers. Yeah, I counted correctly. The sum of the next 5 numbers would be 16 times 5. That's equal to, it's equal to 80. And so now we're trying to find the average of all 7 of these numbers. Well, okay, you should always keep this in mind. Average, or mean, is equal to total divided by number of units. So the total is 18 plus 80, which is equal to 98. And the number of units is 7, so we get 98 divided by 7. And I believe that's divisible by 7, right? 98 divided by 7 is equal to 1. 这28 3乘以300也是 wait 400 4乘以 so 4也8 yeah 14. 98 divided by 7 is 14. I feel like I'm having a mental brain freeze. Yeah, okay, wait. 14 times 7 is equal to 98, right? Quick verification because I am unsure about my calculation skills right now. 14 times 7 is equal to 98. Okay, cool. So that's how we solve the last problem. I feel like the hardest problem would probably be number 4. But just remember how the average relates to the total. Actually, back to this equation that I wrote here. If the average is equal to the total, so the sum, divided by the number of units, well then if we it would make sense that the number of units times the average is equal to the sum. So you can rewrite this equation that we understand. So this is the definition of average. We can rewrite this equation to recognize that the number of units times the average is equal to sum. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the probability video lecture.